Hey y'all, we are so glad that you have decided to come join us tonight for our Saturday night live stream. Now, you know the routine. While Jason and I are running around trying to fix the lights, trying to make sure my hair's washed, dried, my teeth brushed, all that silly stuff that I do before the live stream, we wanted to feature one of our sponsors tonight. And this sponsor, we don't talk a whole lot about, but we use a lot in the background, and that is GrowVeg.com. Now, we use their garden planner. So if you go to GrowVeg.com, you can click on to their garden planner, and they have a wealth of knowledge and resources for you to be able to plan out your garden. Now, this time of year is supposed to be rest. We're supposed to be, sitting by the fire, chilling out. If we have a fall or winter garden, there's really not much to do because you're not picking a whole lot of weeds or do anything. You're just waiting for stuff to grow. But that's also the time when your favorite seed catalogs come in and you start getting a little itchy. You're ready to start planning for the next year. So this is the perfect time to check out GrowVeg and their garden planner. Just go to GrowVeg.com, you can set up your account, and it will ask you for your location so that it will be able to tell you what kind of plants you can grow in your area. It also has an area for you to be able to see companion planting. It also does square foot gardening, which I'm super excited about. So you can go here and open up a new plan. This is the other thing that I really like about this is that you can file all of your old plans so you can keep up with things that you planted the year before, so that if you're interested in crop rotation, or let's say that you have a raised bed and you want to make sure that you don't overwork a specific bed. Like for instance, I had beans in some beds last year, so they're full of nitrogen. I don't want to plant beans in there again this year. I want to make sure that I plant something that will soak up all of that nitrogen, right? So you can create a new plan, and you're able to put in your plan size. So if you have a 100-foot by 20-foot bed, then you can go ahead and put that in there as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and see what happens. So really all you do is put in all your information, you go ahead and it will set up a full plan for you. And then all across the top, you can look through all plants. You can even go just by herbs. There's a whole, this thing is probably one of the best programs to be able to plan out your vegetable garden. I used to use, just pen and paper. And there is something to be said about just plotting everything out on a piece of paper. But it is really nice to not have to flip through my app every 5 seconds to go what goes with what. With this program, it'll do basically most of the work for you. So I encourage you to check it out. We should be just about ready to go. So I look forward to talking with you tonight. Man, we've got some great topics. So sit tight and we'll be with you in just a moment.
Woohoo!
What's up, y'all?
What's up, everybody? Woo! Hey, Google, tell me a joke.
I was about to say, don't.
This one is sarcastic. Some couples go to the gym because some relationships don't work out.
Because relationships don't work out. That's awesome. How many of y'all's phones just told a joke? Hey, Tinker's wife, what's up?
That was funny.
I'm curious.
That joke hit the recoil.
That was funny.
Kind of blew up in her face.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're kind of letting everybody come on in here for a second. Let's see, we got Homestead Paradise, Mama Z's Texas Kitchen, Dutch Off-Grid Homestead, Bumbling Acres, The Naked I Have a Huge Head Gardener, Triple H.
Trip H.
It's Triple
Always
H.
do
He
that.
is the game. Hidden within myself. Southern Blessed Homestead. What's going on, Southern Blessed? Wow.
So look, wow, what an intro. Good job, Robin.
Yeah, that was a good job.
Jason fussed at me.
I did not fuss at you.
Yes,
Come in
he
here.
did.
She
You know
come
what
in
he
here.
said?
No.
You know what he said? He said, Robin, that was a video. That wasn't an intro.
It's so not. She come in here and she's like, woo. I even did an intro for you for tonight. Really? Yeah, it's like 7 minutes long.
I did
said,
not.
baby, that's not an intro. That's a video.
I said it's under 5 minutes, and I know you want to be at 5 minutes, so it's under 5. He got done editing it, and he's like, baby, that was a video. Like, that could have been a video. I'm like, sorry.
Geeky Gardens. Anita. April Hill. Tinker's Wife. Copper Kettle.
You did Dutch off grid, right?
Yes, I did Dutch Off Grid. And I think that
Hey,
was
Paul.
everybody. Lonely Prepper.
What's up, Lonely Prepper? Lonely Prepper, did you hear? We did it for you.
Yeah, we did it for you.
We asked everybody.
360 degree or 360 Homestead.
Who is that?
That I came up with that name for them.
Yeah, you were telling me that they came up with,
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so they used it and they
Two
ran with
family,
it.
what's up?
And so because the one name that they had before was like there was like 800 million of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so we came up with it on the fly for them.
If you missed the intro, it's definitely worth going back and watching after the show. There's a little bit of information in there, but we talk a little bit about GrowVeg, which, you know, we don't do a whole lot of videos about because it's kind of hard to really film like...
Yeah. The intro video will be in the end screen after the live stream that we do have. We did kind of like a 2-part thing. It's an outstanding program to be able to plan out your gardens. Mm-hmm. And so if you garden and you don't have a big, huge head, this would be a great program to use. Those of you that have big, huge heads, you probably would have to type kind of like this because the head was getting in the way. You know, one thing I did learn about Sydney.
What have you learned about Sydney?
That when he was real little, he was in gymnastics and stuff.
Oh, I really thought this was going another direction.
No, and he was
You start
like
talking about his... I'm sorry.
he was like this superstar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably. I think when you look at some of his live streams, those are the medals.
There's a joke coming
that
here.
are hanging up behind. He was like this. He was like probably like this close to going to the Olympics because to be able to cut flips and stuff, all he really had to do.
I knew you were
Boom.
Joe, he said that program looks great. With some changes we're doing in this coming year, that would be great. Does it factor in your growing seasons based on your area? Yes. Now, I will be doing another review on an app that I use as well. It's not really a sponsor kind of thing because it is a free app, so there's really nothing to be sponsored. But I will tell you that it is very helpful, and I'll do like a very quick, brief, you know.
And don't let her. She lives and dies by this app.
I do love it. So, Homestead Preachers online. So let's. I got you.
So, cool thing. The reason why I'm picking on Sid.
Wait, real quick. Lonely Prepper, I did what you said to do on your comment. You said to ask everybody to ask Google for a joke, and we did that this morning, or this afternoon. Thanks.
This afternoon.
Whatever.
Right,
Sometime today, like 5 minutes ago. I don't know. Whatever. My whole day has been like, ugh. Anyway.
Carpenter Self-Reliance.
Hello, all. Thanks for the show. You're
But
welcome.
I'm picking on Sydney because we're actually going to get to visit with them tomorrow, and I'm hoping to do some videos.
Hoorah. people that can give you crap and get away with it are Marines. I'm just saying.
and so we're kind of looking forward to hanging out with Tori. So he was
Not
so.
Sydney, just Tori.
It was so funny. We were on a polo when we were trying to link up, see what, and somehow it got around to basically our wives being able to, we ask permission and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he just started barking about how, he don't ask for permission and da 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 da. And then I guess he thought he hit the stop button but he didn't. He's like, that's what you wanted me to say, right?
That's funny. So, Country Girl City Girl Country Heart said, your chicken processing video helped me process my Cornish chickens yesterday.
Cool. What's up, D?
Hey, D. How are you and Doc doing? Okay, so, man, have we got some good...
We got some info.
Some really good information tonight. Or really not so much just information, but more like...
Thought-provoking conversation.
Thought-provoking conversation, yes. So, which one would you like to start with? Do you want to talk about why our chickens have masks on them?
Yeah. So we might as well. So, as y'all know, well, a lot of y'all that's been coming around a lot, there's usually one channel in here. Homestead in the Highlands.
Hey, John Stanley, what's up?
Hi, John. Homestead in the Highlands from across the pond over there in Scotland.
Cheryl.
Now, YouTube has been really hosing us because she's not really getting the notifications that we're alive.
She's about to get a notification.
But she's about to get a notification right now because Mama going to give it to her.
Hey, we're live. Where you at? Sorry.
And so...
Thank you, Mama Z.
She contacted us this week via Marco Polo and said, hey, I need help. Basically kind of thinking outside the box. They have a bad case of bird flu going on over there.
Ah, she's fixing to talk.
And
Didn't realize the time. Didn't get notification. Be here in a minute.
See? She's not getting notifications.
I could just listen to her talk all day.
Yeah, basically, I was talking to her, and she said that they'd been contacted by whichever government, because it's a very confusing structure over there. And she said...
Freedom!
She said that they had been notified that there are some issues of avian flu near them. Now, when we say near them, the closest case is like 400 miles, or at that time was about 400 miles, and then everything else was 600 miles south of them. There she is. So... it got me thinking, like, real quick, she was like, they've got all of these different things in place that they have to do.
And that's what got you thinking, is because they're doing some major lockdowns kind of thing over there when it comes...
Hey, D.
Taco salad. So they got some major lockdowns going on over there when it comes to their birds.
Yes.
Now tell everybody what they said about the lockdowns.
Yeah, so what
she told you.
So what she was telling me is that she's struggling.
Son of a...
So what she was telling me is that they are required by Sunday evening for Monday morning to have all of their birds locked up. No free range. No, nothing. Everything is supposed to be in some kind of a structure where they're not able to be outside, not exposed to the outside. Now, furthermore, they're waterfowl, so if they have ducks, geese, anything like that, they have to be separate from the rest of the poultry. So, Cheryl, she has peacocks, she's got chickens, She has geese. You know, she has all these different animals, and she's having to, I think she has some pheasants, like, she has a lot of different birds. And one of the things she was telling me is she's got guineas or peas that they roost up in the rafters of different places. Her peacocks roost on the roof. So trying to figure out how to catch all of these guys and put them inside secure, places is one challenge. But then having to have them set up. And then the other thing that she's run into, and I'm pretty sure that just about everybody here that's raised birds before knows that sometimes you have birds that don't get along. And if you try to put them all together in one area, you could end up losing some of your flock.
Well, I mean, it's naturally known that there are, when it comes to, like, especially chickens, there are basically kind of two, what's the word?
If this is a joke, like, it's really tanking, like, quick.
It just went. But there are like two major bird affiliations. I guess it'd be the
You
right
got
word.
the Bloods and the Crips. Or...
Right, no, not the Bloods and the Crips. They're the feathers and the beaks.
Oh, the beaks and the feathers and the beaks.
Yeah. Feathered
So-
feet.
Oh, see. But yeah, so she said that that's the issue is that, they have to keep them away from the, and then, yeah, she has turkeys. The peas and the turkeys roost in the barn rafters or on the roof. So she has these issues of trying to get, get that all done. So anyway, so that's the issue that they've run into. There's also other things. So, and that was what I was getting back to so that country is feeding spoonfuls of conditioning info to make it the new normal. Do y'all have a separate group? Now, okay, so one thing I will tell you though, and this is where I kind of go back and forth about this, because we have seen in our area where there's a lot of chicken houses, we have seen where something can go from being a threat 400 miles away to all of a sudden, we're not even going to ask you to quarantine your birds. We're just going to tell you you need to dispose of them. Yeah. So, at least the idea that the government's saying, look, this is a very real threat. It is very easy for your birds to be exposed to it. You really need to be careful about this, because if you don't, there's a good possibility you'll have to put your birds down.
Yeah. It was, 3 years ago, that they were coming around to, well, they called a meeting. Mm-hmm. And if you had any type of fowl, you were supposed to come. We didn't go. And they were out there in parking lots, taking tag numbers down, showing up at your house going, yep, you've got too many birds. Dispatch time.
Yep.
And they were making you kill. They were forcing people to kill their birds, and then they were throwing them in a bag and going supposedly to put them
incinerate them. Yeah. So,
we didn't go to the meeting, so they never came here.
Yeah.
And
but we also didn't allow any in or out kind of traffic. I mean, yes, we get wild bird stuff, but at the time, most of our birds weren't being free range. They were behind coops, and stuff like that. So, and they had the netting across the top to protect them from aerial predators. So it wasn't as big of a deal for us.
Well, I mean, they get it from the poop.
Yeah.
And one of the things though with having the livestock guardian dog, having a lot of the checks and balances with 12 gauge shotguns in place, it's kind of almost, I don't want to say it's a no-fly zone, because we get them all. We still get geese over here. We still get the crows, those blackbirds, all those obnoxious little blackbirds.
Yeah, they're really loud.
Oh, but they're only here for 3 or 4 days.
But then they always know when you're trying to film. Because you could be out there and it be quiet as can be, and then, and then all of a sudden it's like so loud it hurts your ears.
Yeah.
So she says, if bird flu is in the area, they will come and kill all of my birds, including the expensive pet house miniature chickens who live in my house. Anita says, we dealt with it one time when we did grow. One poultry house got it badly, disposed and burned over 3,000 birds in one day. Lost half of the house. That's what I'm saying. Like, starlings, that's what they're called. Yeah, so, I mean, so that's kind of the,
And this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, all I was going to say is, like, but they still have other things. It's not just putting the birds up. The other thing is that they said they have to have disinfectant going in and out, like how the protocols are for the meat birds or the egg laying bird, big bird houses.
Yeah. Like in commercial big bird egg laying
operations,
houses, meat birds, they literally have a
it's like a tote.
It's like a tote that's got this chemical stuff in it. And when I had to step in it when I worked at the dairy, because one of the egg houses was right there, and every now and then I'd have to go down there to get a piece of equipment. Mm-hmm. And I promise you, I honestly think that what used to eat out the bottom of my shoes, because since I have left the dairy, I have not had the bottoms.
That's a good point. I never thought of that.
I just thought of it.
Yeah.
So, but you step in this, and then you have to kind of,
Wanderlust.
Then you walk in and around, do your thing, come out, and then you got to step in it again.
And then leave.
And so.
So they have to do that.
So they have to do that. They have to have clothes. She has to have like painter's overalls.
Different clothes for different houses from each one. Yeah. So that was the thing. Is like she said, you're supposed to wear different shoes. She's like, I have one pair of wellies. Like, that's it. I don't have 4 pairs, And I was like, well, maybe you could, like, tie trash bags over them or something. Like, there's got to be something you could do to change all of that out. Or a Tyvek suit or something. There's got to be something. So, I love FBI is listening to us again. Anyway, so why do we bring that up? We bring that up to say...
It's not... Look, birds migrate. All the time. I don't know if one's going to fly all the way around on the other side of the world. But it's not unreasonable to think that this can't happen and come across the pond and be here in the United States.
Well, but to get even more just generally speaking, this has hit her like a ton of bricks because you don't have a contingency for this. So the reason we bring it up is have a contingency for this because she said in the chat she's having to, wherever she had her lambing quarters, she's now having to totally redo all that to put them in there and to be able to accommodate this to protect her birds. Yeah. And so
because this is a part of homesteading that is aggravating because it's something out of your control. You can't control where Joe Schmuckatelli Goose goes and gets his lovin' or goes to get his food and he picks up the bird flu somewhere and wham, he's flying over your homestead. Hey, the whole world is his commode. So he's flying over your homestead, drops a big, wet, stinky, squishy deuce as he's flying by.
The goose deuce.
The goose deuce. He keeps on flying. I mean, it's not like he's going to turn around and say, hey, sorry, I just dropped the bird flu turd on your homestead.
Right.
Your chickens walk across it. You walk across it, go into the coop or go to your eggmobile, and wada bing, wada bang, wada boom.
Ooh.
You got the bird flu.
That sucks.
What?
So Anita said, we had to dispose of clothes from one house to another, wore shoe covers to burn, Yeah, it was a mess. The biggest factor they learned was it was the feed trucks carrying it from one farm to another on their tires. So they stopped them to disinfect every time to keep it from spreading. That's crazy. I mean, like
but that makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense, but like that's what I'm saying is like you really have to think about it. This has to be a contingency plan that you have. Okay, if I had to lock up all of my and don't just go with avian flu. Just think in general. If I have to quarantine my animals, where am I going to put them? What am I going to do with them? You know, what are my contingencies for having my animals?
And you should kind of have an area for quarantine anyway. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to pause right here. Hey, we got 31 people in here, only 14 thumbs up.
Whoa, only 14?
Y'all smash that thumbs up button for us and help us with the YouTube algorithm. So
Duncan, 1900, what's up?
So you should have an area or a little building or a little chicken tractor or something that you can quarantine new animals when they come anyway, whether it's goats, cows, pigs, chickens, goose, duck, whatever. Everything that we get, it goes into a quarantine section for about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever you have new... Right.
It's far off away from all of our other animals, and they're just sitting there just chilling. Why? Those pigs or whatever that you brought, chickens, whatever you brought onto your property, they could be absolutely 100% healthy.
Hey, Connie and Justin.
Nothing wrong with them whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
But they have different antibodies in their immune system. They have different immunities in their body for the boogaloo flu, whatever, that your animals may not have. And so they may be the carrier monkey for this boogaloo flu, and you bring them in and you mix them all in with your flock. Well, your old flock all dies because they weren't ready for the boogaloo flu, and whammo. You know, I'll never forget one of the classes that I had when I was working in dialysis. One of the charge nurses was getting on about making sure that all the patient care techs were really cleaning the dialysis machines. Mm-hmm. Because she said, you got to look at it like this. You got red ants over here from this guy. He brought in from...
His red ants.
He brought in his red ants. And we got medicine for red ants. Mm-hmm. The guy behind him, he comes in with blue ants. If you don't clean...
And we've got medicine for blue ants.
If you don't clean that chair properly, you don't clean that machine properly, and he sits down, you know, because we got medicine for blue ants, we got medicine for red ants, but they got together and they had a womp, chicka, womp, womp. Boom, now I got purple ants. We don't have medicines for purple ants because we don't know anything about purple ants.
But now we've created purple ants.
Now we created purple ants, and it takes off like a wildfire.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why you have to have a quarantine area for your homestead. It doesn't have to be huge. Mm-hmm. It could be a little corner, 4x8, depends on how many animals you're bringing in, enough to just sustain, keep them over there, keep them safe for about 2 weeks to make sure everything's good to go. And then, especially with chickens, I like to kind of walk them slowly up closer to my flock instead of just dumping them right in there.
Yeah, because we've learned the hard way that don't work.
Because when you got them off in that corner and they got the red ants and you got blue ants, okay, the red ants are slowly creeping, so my animals are developing an immunity to those red ants, and their immune systems are able to kill the red ants so they don't mix with the blue ants and become purple. And then you baby step them in. Mm-hmm. And then that's how you stop that. Mm-hmm. I want to stop for a second because I didn't know if he was coming tonight, but he's here. Loma Acres Homestead is here. You guys, I am asking for some hardcore prayers, well wishes, positive thoughts, whatever your religion is that you do, please send them his way. They live up in Ohio. And I don't know if you saw it on the news, but they were up in Ohio. They were demolishing a nuclear power plant. And he has a family member that was working on that crew. And long story short, something went sideways and it collapsed. There was like 7 people still in there when it collapsed.
5.
5?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, 5 were in there, collapsed. 3 got out. 2 were still missing. That was about 3 days ago. And one of the 2 is one of his family members. I've been in constant contact with him over the last 3 days. I know he's got to be ripping his hair out. Chris is a really good guy. I mean, we've met him at HOA like 2 or 3 times.
And his little son.
Yeah, his little son absolutely loves Robin. But they're just really good people, and it just really, really hurts the heart that they are having to go through all of this stress and anxiety and stuff right now over a family member. So if you guys could lift them up in your prayers, send them some love, and because as of a couple of hours ago, the search and rescue dogs, 2 different sets of dogs, all alerted in the same area as the other ones did before, and they think they're really close to his family member's truck, close to the cab, but they're trying to cut through some 7-inch thick pipe right now, so they have to go slow
and be careful.
And they have to be extremely careful. We're on day 3. Those of you that know, you got to have some type of water within 3 days, or dehydration starts to set in and it can kill you. So we're really hoping that they get through these pipes and that they can find his family member alive. But if nothing else, hopefully they'll be able to find his family member so that way they can have closure.
Mm-hmm. Seems like about 10 feet away, they think.
They're about 10 feet away. And 10 feet's not really that far. I mean, I can jump half of that, or I used to be able to when I was younger. Probably jump a third of it now. I don't know. But because of those big pipes and everything, they've got to be very methodical with what they're doing.
Well, and the structure itself is not steady, so...
Yeah, so y'all pray for his family member, pray for him,
and his
family. That way they can get some closure and that everything will be okay.
And there's also there is another person that's missing, and I think there's a fiance, she's holding out, so definitely keep them in your prayers. And also the workers, they are working, from what we can see, they're working pretty much around the clock trying to find these 2 gentlemen, so.
Which brings us back to our first responders. Always keep your first responders in your thoughts, in your prayers. Keep cattywampus. Keep cattywampus in your prayers. They're first responders. He's a police officer, and in today's world, it's not a good thing to be a police officer. They're hated more than anything that I know right now. Mm-hmm. And so keep them in your prayers.
And you got like Brett,
the
fireman. So.
Yeah. Oh, Bruce Sourward, Homestead.
Yeah, Jenga. He said 10 feet. He said it isn't far, but in the world's most dangerous game of Jenga, it might as well be miles.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah. So you guys just keep them in their prayers, thoughts, well wishes, whatever it is that you believe, and they'll really take as much as they can. Mm-hmm. Okay, so back to the bird flu. Chris, I'm so happy that you're here, brother. I hope that we can ease your mind for a little bit and take that off of you there for a little bit.
Hardest job in the world is being a first responder here in Oregon. I can't imagine. I'm sure that's been tough too.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, bird flu. Long story short, be thinking about contingency plans for something like this. Because while it may never even come our way, it's always nice to be prepared.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because, I mean, bird flu's like that uncle you really don't like. He shows up like every 3 or 4 years or something like that. 3 to 4 to 5 years. So, it's one of those things. Keep it in the back of your mind. And, I mean, I'm not saying you need to go full-blown doomsday prepper and end up on National Geographic because you're preparing for the bird flu. Because, I mean, why not? There's people...
Hashtag life goals.
There's people preparing for some weird stuff in that show. But anyway. But keep it in the back of your mind. You know. And keep, you know, just sit down one day, you and your family, and think, okay, bird flu.
Whoa. That was really loud.
That's because they're...
Uh-huh. I think so.
And, well, I'm getting a whole bunch of subscribers right now. What's going
That's
on?
because they want to see the dancing bear.
So, y'all just keep it up. Keep going. And,
Anyway.
all right, so tonight...
We're gonna get started and it's just gonna keep going.
Okay.
I don't think they want to see that dancing bear, baby.
Like a knife right there. Pull your knife out, lady. Pull your knife out. Okay, y'all. So tonight, without further ado, Robin is going to be talking about her essential.
Oh crap! We didn't bring the bottle.
Nope, you
out
sure
here.
didn't.
I don't know. I'm a loser. So, we're going to talk about, this is the part where we talk about, he just unsubscribed.
You know
Y'all
what?
don't
I'm not
do
giving.
that.
I'm not giving him his wrench back.
I should have waited to subscribe. That's awesome.
He better hope that the algorithm did not catch him.
Yeah, so like that's one thing that we found when we first did that. We had one live stream where everybody like unsubscribed and then resubscribed just to see.
Don't do that because you mess up the
Because
algorithm.
it messes up our algorithm like crazy.
And we're hurting with that AI as it is, so please don't do that. I mean, if you want me to dance or
Can't
something...
we make it do it? I feel like we can
Yeah,
make
we
it. Yeah. So there you go. Somebody else will do it for you.
Yeah.
So anyway. So we've been trying to talk about essential oils that most people are familiar with a general public is familiar with. So we started with lemon. We talked about lavender. Last week we talked about tea tree or melaleuca, whichever way you talk about it. So this week I wanted to talk about peppermint. Again, peppermint is one of those things that everybody knows what peppermint is, right? So using the essential oil is not really a scary thought, right?
I know some of us know what peppermint schnapps is better than others. Just
So, especially during these Christmas season here. So,
I got polos to prove it.
so peppermint. Peppermint is a very versatile oil. Like, it can be used for so many... I don't have any... So, peppermint can be used for so many different things. When you get like a starter kind of kit kind of thing, in any kind of company, when you're, looking to buy oils, a lot of times they'll have like a trio of oils, and that's...
Can I interrupt you for just a second? all y'all coming in with fake accounts, y'all better be smashing that like button. There's 39 folks in here and only 30 thumbs up. So y'all coming in to make the bear dance, you better smash that thumbs up too. Okay.
I just unsubscribed and subscribed again twice, and it didn't get a dancing bear, so Jason needs to dance for Reese. Peppermint and Breathe has helped us with getting over the cooties. Love me some peppermint. Yes, so peppermint is one of those, like when you get the little trio stuff, that is usually one of the ones that it is in it. It's usually lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Those three you can do just about anything with. So if you were looking to kind of get started, that little trio right there, you can do so much with. So the thing with peppermint is it's the one thing that I always like to tell people. There's two things that I want you to keep in mind though. One is that peppermint has the property of being a vasoconstrictor, which means if you have high blood pressure, you need to be careful with this oil.
Because just like the python, it constricts.
Okay. Also, pregnant women,
Sydney, that's you.
it can induce menses, which is you're riding your little cycle. Or it can also reduce lactation. So if you're breastfeeding, you definitely want to be careful.
Gross.
Why? I mean, look, this is the part that everybody likes, is watching you get uncomfortable when we start talking about lavender. Great properties, but I very dislike the smell. Look, Chris, we had talked about that when we talked about lavender. It was one thing I was telling everybody is that there's something that can have properties that's soothing. So like lavender has a soothing properties. But if you don't like the smell of lavender, it might not be soothing to you because it irritates you or it makes you like nauseous. So that's one of the things to keep in mind. Even if something has a property that's supposed to be soothing or comforting or relaxing or whatever, if you don't like that smell, then it's going to negate some of those properties.
Hey, Cecilia.
So with peppermint, it is one of the oldest European herbs. Like, it traces back, way back. The Chinese and the Japanese used to use it for medicine. So it goes way back. One thing that I like to tell people that's very interesting is if you can't remember what peppermint is good for, remember this. When you go to a restaurant, at least back in the day, when you would go to a restaurant
Pre-COVID.
and you would get your check, they would usually bring you
Chocolate.
peppermints, right? Even the Andes was a peppermint, right? So the reason for that...
Oh, I know.
So the reason for that is that peppermint is actually soothing to the stomach. It helps to, kind of any kind of gut pain and belly pain. It can help with that. It soothes that. So a lot of people, they serve these peppermints so that just in case what went down was not really, if tummy didn't like it, at least the peppermint can kind of, help soothe all that. Peppermint's also used a lot of times with sore muscles. So, we think of icy hot, things like that. Peppermint is used a lot in that kind of concept. So people who work out, sore joints, sore muscles, you can take peppermint and put that onto... you could put that on muscles to help kind of, help them loosen up, and it can help.
Public service announcement.
Okay, what's your public service announcement?
Ladies, when your husband has had a rough day and a very labor intensive day, and you're You want to help get his muscles, and especially if he has a bad back, you want to get it to relax. Do not, I say this from experience and with authority, do not say, I'm going to help my husband out and put drops of peppermint in the bathtub.
No, city girl, no. Do not put it in a bath. No. Not good. Not good at all. Even more so, let me tell you, some people take peppermint and they put it in their shampoo. So they'll take their shampoo and they'll drop a couple of things of peppermint and put it in there to kind of cool their scalp. But let me tell you, be very careful with this, because as you are rinsing your hair out, that oil will still make its way to your body, and you will feel cold. This has happened before, so definitely
hippie
be
shakes.
careful with that.
Yes.
Another thing, any kind of allergies and stuff like that, peppermint helps to clean out what I call the snot rockets. So you just definitely, peppermint works to clean all that crud out. One thing we do.
I hate him.
So, one thing that you can do if you have a congestion, you can take like lemon and peppermint, put a couple of drops in a bowl of steaming hot, like boiling water. Put the boiling water in there, take that and put those drops in there, and then put your head over it, not directly on top of it, but about maybe a foot-ish away, 1.5 feet. Put a towel over your head and breathe in all of that steam. I am telling you, that peppermint will
I like it with eucalyptus.
clear you out. Peppermint and eucalyptus together, also very good. So that definitely...
I think it was, what was it, the Shindig last year when we were at Jess and Jeremiah's? And we had to do it
We
then.
all had the crud. Like, we got some kind of... Because
We
the
got the-
atmosphere is different.
Yeah,
so,
we got the Roots and Refuge crud. And
so we
were
did.
all-
We had to... Yeah, and we were all feeling kind of yucky. And so we just got a wide open bowl. We put, water from the tea kettle, put some peppermint in there, some eucalyptus in there, some lemon.
And I bet if you would have walked in from outside and seen everybody passing this big bowl of hot water around and then putting towel, that y'all would have thought it was some kind of weird thing. But
It
let me tell you
worked.
what, it worked.
Yeah, it worked crazy. And I'll tell you, there have been a couple of times when I wake up in the morning because the weather gets so cold and then it gets so warm. So I've been using peppermint just to kind of clean out my sinuses in the morning. So I'll just put a little bit on my hands, cup it over my nose, breathe it in real good, and I mean, you can feel it down in your lungs, just kind of clean everything up.
It'll also help wake you up.
Yes, that's another thing. So, like, if you need to be alert, like, that's one thing that we used it a lot for is when we were driving these long distances to go to the conferences, that helped with keeping us awake and keeping us alert. Like, just...
It was a lot better, because one of the things, another oil, one of the citrus oils, wild orange, they say is good for that. But the peppermint, at least for me, worked better than the wild orange.
Yes. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Another public service announcement. We did this when we first started doing essential oils.
We were so excited because you could eat them. We were like, oh, we can ingest them. That's awesome.
And it was right around Christmas time, and so we were trying to get into the Christmas spirit. And so we put a drop of peppermint in our coffee.
At Waffle House.
At Waffle House. Yeah. Don't do that again.
If you ever use peppermint oil for flavoring, if you're doing it for something that's a single serve kind of thing, toothpick.
Yep.
Literally a wooden toothpick. Dip it down in there and dip it in whatever you're trying to flavor. Now, I will tell you, and you can check out the video because this is the time of year everybody likes to make really tasty treats. We made Thin Mints.
Oh! What's up, Mama Donna?
We made Thin Mints and we used peppermint oil. The trick to get them to taste like the Girl Scout cookies, well, watch the video.
Yeah, watch the video.
Feels it.
Because you'll make your own Thin Mints, And the next time them girls
And I'm sorry for all y'all that have girls that are Girl Scouts.
The next time the Girl Scouts come up and want to push the Thin Mints, you'd be like, get out of here with that mess.
It's really bad. I used to not buy them. Well, I mean, I would buy them if I could afford them. But a lot of times I just couldn't. I couldn't justify the cost. But now, even more so, even if I have the money, I'm like, no.
She made this huge batch. There had to be 100 cookies.
Yeah, easy.
And it was gone in like
We
2
ate them all.
days.
They were gone. I was like, where are the rest of the cookies?
I mean, the girls were pushing furniture out of the way, drawing an octagon in the living room. All over for one Thin Mint. There was arm bars, there was DDTs.
But I'm telling you, they are amazing. But I made a video about it, and it's very, I apologize for it being long, but it's in depth. It tells you exactly how to do it. You can turn it on, and you can cook with it. But the thing with peppermint, too, another really good thing about peppermint that we learned is it is a anti-spasmodic. And because it's an anti-spasmodic, it helps with
Hiccups.
So if you have any kind of gastrointestinal kind of thing where you get hiccups, or if you have reflux and you get hiccups, peppermint is really good for slowing that down.
Yeah. For example, I got a boo-boo while I was in the Marine Corps, and basically somewhere in here, there's a huge hernia. It basically kind of goes like, whoop. Okay? And so, if I fall back into my old habits of eating fast, or I have a little bit of anxiety when I'm eating, or I'm angry, I'm eating, basically anytime I'm eating with any type of an emotion other than I'm just having a good time eating,
and even that could be a problem because you're not paying attention, you're just eating.
It'll happen. I don't know if it's because food gets lodged down in that hernia or something, but I will get the hiccups. My body will start to hiccup. And I will hiccup and hiccup and hiccup until I end up throwing up. And I can't breathe.
And it's violent. And you almost panic because you can't catch your breath.
Like you can't breathe because between the hiccups coming and then my body trying to throw up and, but you start taking that peppermint and I start breathing it in. I just literally take the bottle and I put it in my hand and I just start breathing it in. It starts to relax it. If it doesn't, then Robin goes all WWE and she'll rip my shirt off and she'll start rubbing it in that area. And
topically, and just put it on there. It'll hernia, exactly.
It will go.
That's exactly what he has. So there's been a lot of chat in the chat. There's been a lot of conversation in the chat about headaches. Yes, peppermint can help with headaches as well.
Now you have to be careful. Don't be like my mama. Okay, my mom gets bad headaches, and Robin told my mom. She said, "Put it back here."
And it wasn't even peppermint. It was the past tense.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a blend.
Did my mama listen? No, she put it up real close here. It ended up getting in her eye. And she called.
Farmer Mima.
She called. What are you trying to make me bad?
Well, the thing was, in my defense, the last time I had talked to her, it was very clear that she had no intention of using any of the oils that we had sent with her. So I never even thought to, say to her, hey, be careful, don't get this near. Like most people, when I talk to them about it, I always make sure to say, hey, don't get this too close to your eyes, because even if it's not in your eyes, even if it's close, it can still be powerful enough to get the fumes just get in your eyes. It's not pleasant at all. So, and now one thing I will tell you, if this ever happens to you, this is my caveat, I always tell people this. If for some reason you do get peppermint or any other oil in your eye, you can take olive oil, coconut oil, vegetable oil, whatever, butter.
Pig grease.
If you put it on your cheekbone here and on the eyebrow, but like the bone right there at the top of your eyebrow, put that there, it will draw the oil out of your eye.
You might want to not say cheekbone there, Squall. Not everybody's got.
Right here. Cheekbones.
Yeah. Oh, most of all, those are cheekbones are down here.
So anyway,
Pocahontas.
peppermint oil on my temples make my eyes tingle. Yeah. Another thing peppermint can be used for, hot flashes. When I was having my midnight snacks with Satan, I definitely used peppermint oil a lot for that.
Yeah, which once she figured that out, it was very disappointing. I started hiding the peppermint oil.
Just like Vicks vapor rub, the vapors are so strong. Yes. That's how past tense is for me. It could be 10 feet away. Yeah, that's what happened is she took the rollerball and she put it on her temples and it was like right there and it got her. Another thing, and I think Farmer Meemaw has had this with sunburn. If you have sunburn, you can mix lavender and peppermint together. The lavender will help soothe, and the peppermint will help cool a sunburn. So you can do that. Another thing, fevers. So if you have a child with fever, peppermint will help with that as well.
Now, Sydney, she's not talking about the fever for the flavor of a Pringle.
Same thing with insect bites. If you have an insect bite, you can use the lavender and the peppermint. So the lavender will soothe, the peppermint will help draw away the sting. So when Donald and I were driving him up here from Pennsylvania to Texas, we used peppermint oil on our temples to stay awake. I felt like Ric Flair. Woo!
How'd that go again?
Woo! Let's see, what else do I have on here? I think that's pretty much
Well,
it.
I mean, peppermint is one of those multi-use oils. So, you know, people always ask us, you know, and Robin's got this book coming out that she's been working on for like 3 years because she can't decide on what her, I think you upped it to the top 20 now, right?
Still 10.
Still 10? The top 10 oils for homesteaders. She keeps
I got 2 more.
Flipping and adding this one, then she'll flip and add this one. I told her just make it top 20. But peppermint is one that has always stayed from the very beginning because it has so many different uses. You can cook with it. You can use it medically. It has so many different things.
Flavor.
Flavor.
You could use it for your coffee in the morning. If you wanted to make your own creamer, you can make your own creamer with... What?
I know what you gotta make.
With sweetened condensed milk and then put in some peppermint oil, man, that's some jam up coffee creamer, you know? So, yeah. So, and that was one thing that they said, I saw earlier, I think Dee from Louisiana, she said that peppermint helps with bloating. That's very much true.
Gas.
How much and how do you apply for sunburns? Don't put it directly. You're going to need to put it with like coconut oil is what I always tell people.
Not milk. Don't put it with milk.
Coconut oil. And then like I would say, kind of fill the palm of your hand with coconut oil and then maybe 1 or 2 drops. Put that in there, swirl it around, and then apply it from there. I would definitely dilute it.
Would it help with Caesars have a dog that has them? On a dog? I don't know.
I don't remember. I know we had talked a lot about with different animals and being able to use, because that's a whole nother world. I will tell you that there are some oils that animals just can't, like they don't do very well with. So I would have to look that one up because it has been a long time since I've really familiarized. If anybody else in here that does oils knows the answer to that, please. But I'm not sure about that. Another thing that people use peppermint for is nausea. So if you're feeling like you're nauseous, peppermint can kind of help. Remember, antispasmodic, right? So if you're starting to get to where you're feeling that way, peppermint can be used on dogs if diluted. Is it good for seizures though? I don't. So it's antispasmodic, but I don't know. And that city girl, she might know as far as seizures go if it would be good. But as far as nausea,
D says for dogs and seizures, it's cayenne pepper.
Okay. I don't know about how it would work for
Capsaicin.
seizures. Yeah, capsaicin. Yeah. So the other thing with peppermint is with nausea. You know, there are people that do chemo that use peppermint, like little peppermint candies, to help soothe their stomach after, treatments, because it helps to soothe, to settle their stomach. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I think that's pretty much everything I've got that I wanted to kind of really kind of cover.
I know peppermint is definitely a staple when it comes to the essential oils here on our place. It gets used.
Oh, you know what we didn't say?
Ow.
Mice.
Yeah, I was.
Okay,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I'm the
sorry.
predator control guy.
There you go. Sorry.
Some of the things that like Robin didn't mention, it can be used to deter mice. It can be used to deter some ants. Doesn't work on fire ants. Nothing works on fire ants except for boiling water.
You, Terry, you can put that in the Big Bear Nation Facebook group for us, and then that way people can go take a look at it from there.
And but there's a lot of different things that you can use it for. You know, you can use it to, and probably Sydney and them could back us up on this, but there are certain things like the peppermint plant returns to the soil that you can use it to help supplement the soil. So there's a lot of things that this essential oil can do, and it's one of the reasons why it's in Robin's top 10.
I don't know about roaches. I don't think so. He loves picking on you about pest control.
He
He
said,
messed up in his video.
yeah, and I said if I get one question about roaches, that's
so
why
that's
I said
what he
that.
does every time. I love it. Does not work on the Juro spiders. They laughed at me. She sent me a video of the spiders that she has. Like, she is not kidding. What essential oil is helpful to rid fat accumulation? Definitely not vegetable oil.
Slim and sassy.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to our next topic, which is
Yes, spiders too. Yes, it's supposed to.
which is kind of a funny topic.
It is. It made me belly laugh. I'm not gonna lie.
So
But I always like to look beneath the surface on certain things. So it was one of those where when I first read it, I was like, really?
Robin is part of a woman or wives
Homesteading women
group on Facebook. And a post came up about this lady coming from the big city who was used to getting her hair fixed, her nails done. She even said a certain waxing. And so she put that out there. And now that she has moved out to the country and has a homestead, she's literally having to adapt to having dirt underneath her fingernails. Feel at the end of the day, feeling dirty. And
Hello.
we was talking about you earlier, my brother. And so it got us thinking that this is, this going from going to the grocery store once a week and buying your food, going, your entertainment being going to the movies or going to get your hair done,
Going out to eat with friends.
going to play golf, doing all of these kinds of things. When you start taking on the steps to become more self-reliant and more self-sufficient, there are certain things that you have to kind of give up. or your mindset has to switch.
Or you have to really like go out of your way for those things. Like you have to make, and that was the thing, like we went back and forth about, do you have to give it up, or do you have to make time for it, or do you have to decide what's important? Is it a financial thing where now you've put your money into feed so you can't pay for your manicure, or is it just you don't want to justify the manicure because as soon as you get the manicure you're going to have dirty fingernails? So, but the thing that struck me in the whole thing was the question of now
the whole Brazilian wax thing? That's what got me. Why would anybody do that?
Jason's what's a Brazilian wax?
I had to clarify what that was, and she's like,
you better be careful because there might be somebody in here.
Getting your no square wax. Why? I can't think of... No. Why would you want to do that? Don't ever love me that much that you feel that you have to do that, because I would not want you to go through that pain. We've all seen that one movie, right, where the real hairy guy that's like, he's the second hairiest guy after Robin Williams, the comedian that was Evan Almighty, when he got his chest waxed and you heard it rip. No. No.
Oh, God.
So,
anyway, what I was saying is that the idea that I guess one thing was originally we've been doing this so long that I'm trying to remember if there was a time when I felt that way, where I was constantly wanting to take a shower or to clean my fingernails or feel dirty all the time. And
yeah, the 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
Was the name of the movie.
Yeah. And I can't really remember a time when I felt that way. But then I started thinking, there are times though when we feel like you have to have some kind of self-care.
Okay, hold on for a second. Mama always says, just proves women can take more pain. Does it prove that women can take more pain, or that women can be easily manipulated to think that that's important to a dude, so you put yourself through that pain?
Cheryl said, I see a charity waxing coming on for Jason.
No. Negative Ghost Rider. Because I was thinking about, why would anybody want to have the hair literally ripped from you?
Okay, this conversation went like...
And I got to thinking, what on my body would I want to have waxed? Eyebrows? No. Arms? No. Chest? Mm-mm. Butt? That's like the only one where I could be like... No. Because you got to thinking about it sometimes, dingleberries and stuff like that. No, wouldn't want that.
Oh my God.
Legs? No, there is no part of me where I would want to pour hot wax on myself, have somebody then slap it, because you said they slap it, and then go, okay, on 3, 1, because they can't count. So,
So Deanna said, I was probably like that in high school. Then a year later, I spent a summer living in a tent and my priorities changed.
But you're right. It did get us thinking. Was there anything that when we started doing this, was there anything really that we gave up that we could be like, it was hard to give up? And maybe because we've been doing it for so long.
What is this I hear about selling tickets for Jason waxing?
Hey, okay, I'll put it out there this way. You guys,
No.
I will get my arm waxed But we gotta have $1,000 in super chat.
Oh, no. Anyway.
And 100 people in the room.
Oh, so there you go. It won't happen. So anyway, so that's what I think is very, it was thought-provoking in a way to me where I was like, is there something that I've given up that, every once in a while I'm like...
The only thing that I can think of that we really, quote-unquote, gave up is we had, before we really got into this, we had a small group of really tight friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we could not spend as much time with them as they were used to us spending with them. And I think that made them pull away. Or maybe it was that it looked like we pulled away because we were milking cows or had to plant the garden.
Yeah, I mean, we were the family that we were like, well, we can't come to the party till after 7 because we got to milk the cow. Or we have to leave the birthday party by 7 because we got to go milk the cow. So, that's... Dee, I'm right there with you. It's not even about the waxing. It's about the itching when it grows back. That's not fun.
You've waxed?
No, but I've shaved. I mean, it's the same concept. Okay. So, I mean, even when you shave your legs, he's going to give that dancing bear of his some new moves. So, I got to thinking, like, one, the question is, in this lifestyle, because homesteading really, that's what it is. If you're really doing it, it is a home style. Coming from working medically with eyes, assisting with surgeries, I've been in OCD with clean hands, wearing gloves in the garden. I mean, I could see that.
No, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
That's more out of habit because of being in the medical field versus cosmetic.
Right, and that was the thing. And I'll give you a good example. I have a friend of mine who does MLM with fingernail. It's like it's paint, but it's almost like a stick-on. And she reached out to me and was like, hey, you should really try these. And I was like, my fingers get dirty all the time. I could be having a cup of coffee in the morning, walk out and see some weeds, and the next thing I know, I come in and all of my fingernails are like dirt black. Mm-hmm. And so, that was the thing, is like, I don't see the purpose of it. Even though I do go out into the public and I'm out selling, I'm a salesperson, so maybe that might be, but at the end of the day, I just don't see it. So...
And so the cosmetic stuff, that is one aspect from it, but it really got a conversation going with Robin and I about when you start down this journey, when you start down this path to becoming more self-reliant, do you realize some of the things that you've given up? Do you miss some of the things that you've given up? And I think with us, because of either the failures that we've had through the time and we've dwelled on it and worked the problem so that way it wouldn't happen again, or the successes that we had that kind of overshadows missing those things. Mm-hmm. It kind of overshadows when you go out there and you have that first egg for the first time, or you pull Brussels sprouts off of your plant for the first time and put them in the frying pan.
Well, that's like a cabbage. So the last 2 years, we have bought cabbage to be able to make sauerkraut. Well, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have enough cabbage to make a whole nother round of sauerkraut.
A whole nother big bucket?
Mm-hmm. We already have 3 heads out there that whatever variety that I picked up, They're like this big. And they're dense, heavy heads. So we don't need very many more before we get to that 50 pounds, because that's what we need, is about 50 pounds. So I chose not to even wear makeup because of the stupid mask. So, but yeah, that's the thing. So that was the, let's see, I'm about that manicure life too, because I'm lazy about the work I'd have to do to them to look clean. They have become a tool for me. Okay, so for her, and that makes sense. I mean, I could see that too.
Look, we're not hating on folks that get
that's
manicures.
That's not what we're saying.
Now, you get waxings. We think you may need counseling.
No. At the end of the day, my whole thing is that with homesteading, at least for me, the lifestyle itself has been so rewarding that the idea of having dirty fingernails or...
I think you're kind of focusing on the wrong part because that's what all she was talking about was feeling dirty and stuff like that. And I think it was more about giving, because you're so busy and doing things and your life changes and you don't realize what all
you gave
up. You know, now if you absolutely love the manicures and stuff like that, then you're not going to give that up. You may give up golf, or you may give up tennis, or you may give up counting the pack of hot dogs in the back of somebody's head. You know, whatever it is, but you definitely, there's definitely a give and take, because this lifestyle takes up a tremendous amount of your time. It's not a hobby, and that's what I guess I just don't understand when they bring out that term hobby farm. Never once have I ever considered myself a hobby farmer, because there's too much work involved. You know, I used to put together models. That was a hobby. You know, I used to, you know, my woodworking is a hobby.
I mean, I could see you. I just don't see the word hobby and farm together. Now, if you have a few chickens in your backyard, that's a hobby. If you have a couple of rabbits that you keep, that's a hobby. But when you set out to be able to raise your own food and grow your own food, and you take it to that level, then it's not really a hobby anymore. When you take up the homesteading lifestyle, your tolerance for mud increases greatly. Exactly.
And poop.
Definitely poop.
Definitely poop.
Definitely.
So one of my questions is for folks like Caddy Wampus, Mama and Steve Oldways, Duncan. You know, those of you that have been in this lifestyle, you know, can you remember anything that you were like, you know, I used to play golf, or I used to do this, or I used to do that? I would ask Dee, but I mean, she's been doing it since Laura Ingalls, so I'm just saying.
So Dee, and this is what I was getting at, because Jason and I both see this a little bit different, but that's what we like, is that we can take a subject and really kind of go different directions with it. But she says, I do find myself purposely scheduling personal time. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring this all the way back around to, is be sure that when you're doing this stuff, that you do allow yourself some personal time to recharge, to paint your fingernails if you want to. Wash your hair an extra time that day if you feel like it. Be able to spend a little bit of extra time on you to make sure that your mental and physical health.
Work on your hobby. Schedule that time for your hobby. Schedule that time. If you don't have a hobby and you just like to get dolled up to drive your husband crazy, then by all means, Do it. Make sure you do that because it's not only good for you physically, it's good for you mentally. As well. And I spent a stupid amount.
Yeah, she said, I used to get my hair done. I spent a stupid amount of money on my hair. Yeah.
And you know, that's okay.
Right, because
you get to have that time to de-stress.
Right, because in this lifestyle, you can't just take a vacation for a week or a couple of days. You have to really just kind of take your moments.
Yeah. Shoot, in this lifestyle, going away for a weekend is stressful. Because either A, somebody has to stay behind, or B, you have to find somebody that you can trust with everything that you've got going on that will work it just as much and with as much care as you. And then still, you're going to be gone for that weekend stressed out.
Yes. Especially if you've ever been before and something happened while you were gone. That can kind of kind of bring up the anxiety of it being a possibility again, you know. Because we had that happen. We went away one time, and while we were gone, we lost. It was the year that all the birds were getting attacked. And we lost over 100 birds while we were gone, and it was like a kick in the gut.
The first HOA. It was the first HOA. You know, and we had people that were doing farming, watching the place, but they just didn't, it wasn't their place, so they weren't as invested in it, which meant they could kind of care less. Yeah. So that sometimes I think leaving is more stressful
than the day to day. Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely, as you go along your homesteading journey, and you're out there and you're putting in your vegetable garden, you're pruning your fruit trees, you're trimming hooves on your goats, you're milking your cows, milking your goats, doing all the things that we do in this lifestyle. Don't forget to take care of you. Don't forget to take the time, whether it's have a secret place on your homestead where you can go and just talk to God. Have a thing that you go and do, whether it's going hunting, going trapping, Now,
let me address one thing that I've seen both Steve and Donna say. And they're a little bit older than us, so they're a little bit more wise than the rest of us. One thing that Donna said is, her hobby is canning. She likes to can. So for her, it benefits her that when she goes to can, she's actually enjoying that because it's a hobby of hers. Steve said, I've focused my hobbies on things that benefit this lifestyle. Yeah, you can do that. But there's a delicate balance there, because if you get so overwhelmed with what you need to can, whether you like it or not, it's going to get overwhelming. So sometimes a hobby can still be... I do believe that, because I feel like if you love to woodwork, and let's say all of a sudden, you get behind in what you're producing, that can be stressful. So even though it's your hobby, there could still be some stress there. So let's see. Never realized I had anxiety until I became a nurse. Then that hit. It's through the roof now. I have anxiety attacks now.
But at the end of the day, though, if something brings you peace, whether it benefits this lifestyle or not, going up in a tree stand, woodworking, building a fence. Like I had a guy, and this is no lie. I can't even make this up. I hired a Marine when I was doing my nuisance wildlife business. He was pretty good to go. But how he relaxed, if he got super stressed, he would dig a hole.
What's up, GDP?
He would dig a hole. He literally, him and his old lady got to fighting one time, and he came over just to chill and relax. And we were burying an old busted up chest freezer to turn it into our root cellar.
You just want to dig a hole.
And he's like, what y'all doing? I said, oh, we're getting ready to bury it. I said, can I dig it? Can I dig it? Dude, you're not on the clock. No, I'm going to dig it for free. It just, digging a hole relaxes me. Of course, Blaze was like, tink, dropping his shovel and going back in the house. You know, and he dug the whole hole. He didn't want anybody helping him. And it was a good hole. I mean, it was bam, bam. You know, ham radio. That's another good hobby that could be relaxing that also benefits this lifestyle.
Shooting range.
There's nothing better than recoil therapy, in my opinion. You know, and some people, they're like Jess. The garden is her therapy. She goes out there and does her thing, and it relaxes her, brings her blood pressure down. Mama Donna is canning. I don't really think that there's ever going to be too much canning for that woman whatsoever.
No, but see, like with me, I get anxiety when I start hearing the rocker on the pressure canner. I don't like to can.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite thing to do.
And see, with me...
But it has to be done.
See, with me, it's either going out into the wood shop or go sitting in a tree and just being there. And just enjoying the moment.
I play music to relieve stress, which I don't do nearly enough. I think Donald smacks my rear when he walks by to relieve his stress. Get Clary Calm rollerball from doTERRA. It's a godsend for me with kids, bad anxieties. Yeah. Clary Calm works really well for that. Crocheting is, that's a good example.
Yeah. That's yours.
I like to crochet. It's very relaxing to me. And I'm going to tell you right now.
And it benefits his lifestyle.
Right. But if I'm behind... No, there is a but to this. This is a perfect example for me. If I'm behind on a project and I need to hurry up and get something out, that is stressful to me. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I have 2 projects that I'm working on right now that I am... like trying like hell to get them done quick, and it's stressing me out because I'm waking up first thing in the morning having my cup of coffee going cold because I'm so many stitches in and I gotta finish that row so I don't mess up. And so there's something that's a hobby of mine that benefits my lifestyle, but right now it's stressing me out. So just letting you know. So, for the people that are going to end up getting those projects, just know that I stressed out a lot doing it for you. Just kidding. I take pleasure when the guys send me pics of their day's duck kill or the processing of deer sausage. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, see, being behind can be stressful. So, that's the thing is, like, I think sewing can be stressful for me. But same thing, I like to sew. But when I'm trying to put something together last minute for a gift, that stresses me out. And then it's no longer a hobby anymore. So, but I'm right there. I love the stress of projects. It keeps me sharp. Now, that can be a thing. When you're stressed, you tend to pay more attention. So,
That's why you hunt hungry.
There you go. That's it. So, all right, 9:30. It was a good show. I liked that show. It was a good show.
You know we're supposed to say that after we stop the show.
No. Saying it now. So, 2 weeks till Christmas. 2 weeks from yesterday. So
next Saturday, we may have a special guest.
Maybe.
All the way from California. Now, he is not easy on the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that much right now. He homegrown ugly. So next week we may have a special guest here, as long as everything works out. So make sure you come by for that one. Got some videos definitely coming out this week. We got our schedule set up. Also, be following. We're going to start sharing how would you put it? A storyline, a goal, how we're working towards a goal.
Yeah.
Here on the and it is a life goal. It's not really as much as a homesteading goal as it is a lifestyle type goal for us.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all be gonna be getting the hint of it probably Monday. Are you gonna talk about it in yours Monday?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so dropping them hints. If you're on the email list, be paying attention to your email because you definitely got an email coming this week that you're not gonna want to miss. Promise you. Mm-hmm. The suspense, dun dun dun. All right, so y'all be kind to one another. I said Merry Christmas in Walmart on Thursday. I said it 17 times. Not one person said Merry Christmas back to me. Mm-hmm. If somebody says Merry Christmas to you, say Merry Christmas back. It's just rude.
That's just rude.
You know? Say Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Something.
I love Cecilia.
What?
Good night, everyone. Take care and stay safe and warm. Unless this is going to be a Southern goodbye. Because we do
a Southern goodbye.
We do those doo-doo. I said doo-doo. Treat trying to get on your email. I believe you are now. I think I put you on there this last time. We haven't sent anything out since then.
Yeah. So, y'all be kind to one another. Wish each other Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hanukkah. Hanukkah started yesterday, so Happy Hanukkah to everybody.
Last night at
sundown. It's time to celebrate Hanukkah. So Happy Hanukkah, everybody, to all of our Jewish friends and family. Happy Hanukkah. So here we go. Robin and I want to remind you to plant smiles,
grow giggles,
and harvest the love, baby. Yeah.
You're so silly.
And we will see you guys next week.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.